live Foodservice Power Plant Network. It's Monday night, friends. I can't believe we get another night together. I am so excited. I got calls today from friends saying, hey, I saw Dr. Joyce Gilbert's coming on tonight. We're going to be watching, and this is true. It's another night where we get to pick the brain is the wrong word. We just get to share some life with another industry leader. Tonight is Dr. Joyce Gilbert of ANFP, the Association of Nutrition and Foodservice Professionals. She and I got to have lunch a few weeks ago, and I would say, I just told her, like, there's just a warmth and a brightness, and there is so much talent and giftedness. And I just wanted to talk to her for hours. That was my experience. And I'm so stoked that you get to hear some of her story, some of what drives her, and like her creativity and her passions and all of this stuff. So a couple things. First, we're excited you're here. I would encourage you, if you've got it, look at this. Someone's looking forward to the conversation. I love it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look in my phone. This isn't because I'm texting like my neighbors while Joyce and I talk. It's just so that we can see people sometimes. And that was Stephanie Gilbert. Hi, Steph. I can't wait for this conversation either. A couple things. If you've got it, grab a pen and a notepad. Certainly Joyce has parts of her story and her life and her passions that are going to touch you or affect you in some way. There'll be some nuggets of wisdom that she just inherently shares that are part of her being that you might need. And you might just want to write that nugget down and dwell on it tonight before bed and wake up tomorrow morning before as you wake up and start your day in a new way. So I would encourage you to do that. Next, you're welcome to make comments like our friend Stephanie here. I can't wait either. Jeff Anderson, love your face, my friend Jeff. Love your face. I hope you're great. I haven't seen you in a while, but I hope you're doing well. You are welcome to comment. You are welcome to ask questions of Joyce, to hear her story or me or whatever that is. Also, huge thanks to the team at Zumba Group who help make these possible, who believe in this mission of telling story, of inspiring through story, of offering positive mindset tools to the industry so that we all might rise up together. Thank you to you, to the team at Craven Company for helping so much with marketing and the quote cards and the website and all of these things. Chelsea and Eric and Aaron and team over there are unbelievable. If you need sort of a white glove full marketing service for the food service, specific to the food service industry, check out Craven Company and go check out the website because fspowerplant.com. All of these conversations are on the website, so you can check out all of them, and Joyce's and mine will be there as well soon. So welcome, get ready. Let's go and find my friend Joyce.
Hey.
Hi, how the heck are you this Monday?
Doing all right for a Monday. It's already a long week.
Yeah. You were like back-to-back meetings this morning, huh? Or today?
Yeah. I don't know why that happens, but sometimes it does.
Are you someone, so back-to-back meetings, obviously I'm sure they're in your calendar, but are you someone that generally uses a calendar for like lots of parts of life? Like, are there some things you just roll with? Or are you like, you know what? Everything makes the calendar. I was talking about this with a colleague today, like what goes on the calendar. And so I don't know, do you have a preference in how you do your days?
Well, since I have a shared calendar with my admin, I don't put everything on it.
Oh, got it. Okay.
I think it would drive her crazy, but I put most of stuff on it. I do. It's kind of a good handy thing. Otherwise, you go, oh my gosh, I just forgot that meeting, or oh goodness, that I just double booked something. So I try to keep it pretty, and I have a very good admin. She does very well for me.
Oh, awesome!
I don't use her a lot, but she's really good with my calendar, which is great.
Love it. Tell me. Oh, look who else is here. Marcus Calvary with Kesnick's. Looking forward to the conversation and seeing you in a couple of days, Jason. Marcus, I'm excited to be up at Kesnick's, brother. Can't wait to do some team meetings. Joyce, you've got a really cool career journey, life journey, career journey. From my perspective, when I got to hear it, can you share? Now you're the CEO and president of ANFP. Can you talk about just your journey into this role?
Sure, and I'll make it short because it's pretty long, but and I think I went into a little bit more detail with you than I needed to. But so I went through school and thought I was going to go into medical school and pursue a medical career, and then started kind of looking at other alternatives thanks to some mentors while I was getting my master's degree, because my undergrad degree was in biology, but a lot of biochemistry. And I wanted to see how I could make that science that I love so much more applicable.
Yeah.
And so I pursued a master's degree in human nutrition for that reason, thinking, okay, this takes good biochemistry and makes it applicable and of service. So for me, that was a really good step. And while I was doing that, I had a mentor that really said, I don't think medical school is what you want to do. I think you should get a PhD. And so on that march, I went. And then during that aspect, I've been an academician. I've also been, had my own businesses. I've had 2 of those. And then during one of my stints as an academician, I actually came to the campus to run a nonprofit. And then I kind of moved my way up to, before I left, I was getting ready to become department chair and also still run this nonprofit. And all of these endeavors that I'm describing were all in the food and nutrition industry. So I've always done that. And once I got the taste of the nonprofit, it was something that I really felt it was a good fit for me. And so then my predecessor here, he was going to retire after 26 years. And just for the information, ANFP's only had 3 CEOs, and we're 62 years old.
Whoa.
So people come and stay. And myself included, I'm on my 9th year. And so all of that combined, when I found out he was leaving and retiring, him and I had a long conversation. And the next thing I knew, I was interviewing, and it was a good fit. And here I am 9 years later.
Joyce, what a story. I love you're talking about like biology and microbiology, all this kind of stuff. Like I took astronomy twice to avoid the real science. Like not that sounds terrible, but I was like, that stuff was so above my head. I'm like, how can I just learn about more stars? Can I do it twice? I wish I could remember all of it.
It's interesting what we gravitate towards.
What? Let me ask you this. At one point, you've had businesses, you were going into medical, you decided that nonprofits were a great place for you. What was it about a nonprofit that you really resonated with?
Well, I think you and I talked a little bit about, I'm not sure if we did or not, my life mission. So part of that is how it fits.
Yeah.
You know, and I've said this to students that I've counseled, you know, back in my academic days. You know, you should find something that grounds you and that you can always depend on in terms of your decision making, your career growth, your career path. For me, it was a life mission, and that was service to my country, my community, and my profession. So I found something that allowed me to do all of those.
Yeah. Can I dive into that a little bit and ask, how did you come to that as a life? I mean, I'm trying to think, a life mission. I'm trying to think. I do vision statements where I kind of dream about what the future looks like, whether it's in our family or career, whatever it is. And, but I don't know that I've ever done a life mission.
You probably have. You may not have articulated it, but you probably have one. Because something drives you. Something helps you to make path decisions. When you're given multiple paths or multiple opportunities, which is what I call them, how do you make those decisions? And so you have to have something, as I said earlier, to ground you. For me, it was making sure that I was always of service.
I love it. Country,
in an industry that I love, that we all love.
No kidding. Where did you say it was service to country, community, career? Is that what it was?
Yeah, profession.
Profession.
Career.
Gosh, what a great way. I mean, with the amount of forks in the road that we all have at different parts of our journey, and certainly you figuring out what kind of doctor to be, or, you know, what do I want to do with my life? Having that as your sort of guiding principle, your life mission is so huge, I would think.
It was helpful for me. And when I had students at the time and they would ask, you know, how did you get where you are? How can I get to, you know, where you are? If they were kind of down that path, it was just find something, you know, that can ground you. So when you're making decisions, there's a consistency.
Did you learn about this idea of a life mission from anyone? Was it something you stumbled upon, or was there a mentor that told you you might pursue that?
Yeah, it was actually a mentor that got me into the military.
Wow.
Cool. Yeah. Way back in my, gosh, right as I was finishing up my No, because I had this kind of before. So anyway, yeah. And
Joyce,
as you know, I have served in the military, so it was a really good match.
no kidding. There's so many amazing things that you've done. Let me ask you this, and I want you to tell us a little bit about ANFP too.
Mhm.
But like, I'm jumping ahead. I'm going to come back there. I'm going to come back here because this is one of my big questions. Tell our community, everybody who's watching tonight. By the way, Dan loves it. Love it. Bolt is in the house. Hey, yo, Bolt is here. Yo, Bolt, what's up? Um, tell us a little bit about ANFP. I mean, you guys are a huge organization with, I think, 15,000 members or so.
Yes.
Tell us sort of your service is a part of your life mission. Tell us who you serve and why.
Yeah, ANFP, as you said, we have about 15,000 members, the majority of which are credentialed with a certified dietary manager, certified food professional. And because we have a credential, we also have an education arm. So that because of the amount of continuing ed that they have to have over time.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been around, as I said, for 62 years. And all of our members serve in the non-commercial food service settings. So the predominance of our members come out of the healthcare sector,
Okay.
but we also have corrections, food service, school food service, the military, and then some assisted living and other aspects of senior dining.
Wow. And are those 15,000, are they individuals or
Yes,
is it, okay,
yes.
got it.
Yeah, they're credentialed individuals. Yes.
Wonderful. And a part of all the ways that you serve them, is there one, I mean, there's a lot of things I'm sure that you do to support these folks. Is there a component of what you do that you think sort of offers the most? Is it the education piece? Is it continuing ed? Is it, I don't know, job placement, networking?
Well, we do all of those things, and
Yeah.
we do actually put out a member needs survey. As a matter of fact, we just finalized one on one of the calls today that's going to go out at the beginning of October. And through that, our members tell us that what's most important to them is giving them two things. One is our magazine that comes out 6 times a year. And it's also digital. Um, they find that useful, but the number one is the networking that we offer through our live meetings. That always comes back to us as a number one member need and member benefit that they enjoy. We also, and the third of those is we have a community, a portal that members can go in, and it's peer-to-peer best practices. And I think that that's something that's very valuable. It's another way of networking where you don't necessarily have to be live. So we
Yeah.
all know there's such a labor crunch now. So live meeting attendance is still down for us as it is everyone. People still trying to recover from the crunch on labor that the pandemic presented because we were already in a labor shortage before it.
Sure.
Yeah, so those are the three things that our members tell us. It doesn't matter what I say, it's what the members say.
Right.
And we have very good engaged members. I'm very fortunate. Not only do I have a marvelous staff, I have a very good board of directors, very engaged. And I think that's very helpful. They're very, we've made them, it was my decision when I came on to make the board of directors and the executive team the face of the organization.
Hmm.
And so we send them to the meetings. Excuse me.
You're fine.
And so, yeah, it's worked well for us.
Joyce, how often do you do is it an annual meeting? Like when you get together in person, or are there regional things that people connect at?
We have both. And we also have chapter meetings or at the state affiliate level.
Okay.
So ANFP at the national level has one annual meeting, and that's in June. And then we have two regional meetings, one in the fall and one in the spring. And we try to situate those so that we don't compete with the state affiliate, our chapters meetings. And generally, most chapters have at least one meeting a year, and the stronger chapters, the larger chapters, have two.
Wow.
Once again, one in spring. So, and we help with those as well.
I love it. Z the cook is in the house. Hi, Z. Mentors help us elevate and shape our lives for the better. I think we would agree with that, Z. So grateful for mine and being a
Well
mentor
said.
for others as well. Awesome. Love it. I know you are for so many. Goodness gracious. This is very interesting. Nice to learn about. Thank you both. Z, we're glad you're joining us. Love it.
Yep.
Okay, Joyce, in your life, you've done a lot of really cool things, a lot of paths along the road that you could have done so many things. I look at your journey and I think that's a human who's accomplishing at a high level, leading people, serving. I have, leadership through service. Are there for anyone wanting to, certainly a life mission is important in kind of making those choices along the way. But are there any disciplines or habits that you hold for anyone watching that thinks, I want to continue to grow in my career. I want to be a servant leader at some point or lead an association, perhaps. Anything you do in your life that someone might apply in theirs?
Well, it helps to marry someone in the industry.
I love it.
We read the same books. We talk with the same language. We travel in the same circles. We know the same people. That's very helpful.
We should clarify, Joyce, of course, you're married to the amazing Stephanie Gilbert,
I
who came on our show. I don't know when Steph came on, maybe 6 months ago, something like this. That conversation is on the website too. It's tell me why that's such a, you never know when you're connected with someone, when you're married to or in relationship with someone in the industry. I'm sure there's wonderful things in like you're like, we don't want to talk too much about work, but we also talk about work. Like,
well, when you're both passionate about it, and we somewhat, I won't speak for Stephanie, but myself, I kind of define myself by our industry and my career, and so you're not only talking about the industry you're in, but you're also talking about your career path and how that, in my case, how that matches, as I said earlier, kind of my life mission and where that's going. And so those conversations are great to have, and it gets better for me and for us, I think, is because Stephanie's mother, Ellen Loris Elson, was a pioneer in this industry, with Computrition. So we have lots of family discussions. We have a family call every Sunday, and we talk a lot about not only what we're doing as a family, but what we're doing as a profession. And I think I really appreciate that both Stephanie and I are prolific readers of leadership books, other ones too. But I think that's important, for me to be a lifelong learner is very important. Rather you formalize that. And I can say this because I'm fortunate enough to have a PhD, but it's not necessary. You can be a self-learner through your whole life, and it doesn't have to represent itself with advanced degrees. And I think that's important.
Is there as a reader, a book in the last, I don't know, that sticks out in the last few years that's been super impactful to you?
Well, I think one of the books that's been super impactful for me in terms of how I've approached, certainly how I approached this position when I took it at ANFP, is Jim Collins, Good to Great. And the reason I say that is, and I do go back to that book, is whenever you come on, and I'm very fortunate that, as I said, I have a very good staff. We're all family. We respectful. I have great thought leaders in that group, and I also have a lot of longevity. But you have to make sure that you have the right people on the bus, and that's very important. And I really feel that success is that surrounding yourself by the people. One, you have to know yourself and what you're good at and what you're not, and or what you like and what you don't like to do, and make sure that you find people and surround yourself so that you can continue that strategic direction of the organization. So that book's been very, very good for me.
I love it. That's the thing I remember most about that book. I'm looking at it, the red book right on my bookshelf to the left of me. Get the right people on the bus first, and then put them in the positions.
Well, once you have that, then you can instill the trust with the group, the respect, and then you can have those, whatever he calls it, those big, awful discussions that you have to have, and directions and decisions that you may have to make as a team.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the right people on the bus, it doesn't matter. The bus will stall for sure.
Both, and the right people on the bus and in the right seats. Yeah, and that both, you're right, and that can take time at times. I know we've had people move.
Well said.
over time, bobbing and shifting. And how does this one feel? And then after a year or two, they're like, you know what? I don't know. I don't know that I love this. And I kind of see what they do. And that seems wicked fun. And maybe there's an opening to support that person or be in that role, whatever that is.
Well, I think, and thank you. That's a great comment, Balt. I don't know you personally, but I love that nickname. I think
She is every bit of that. She's every bit of it.
I can imagine. Well, she's in a great industry. Why not, right?
Yeah.
But I also think that having not only the right people in the right seats, but also treating them accordingly and giving them a path for their own growth. And I think that's one of the reasons why we at ANFP have a lot of longevity. Hopefully my senior team and I have been able to do that, give people challenges, but also, position them well. And when we can't, we're the first to show them other opportunities outside of our association. Because if you have good people, you've got to allow them to grow. And if you don't have a space for them to grow, and we've lost a few because of that, but it was a good, we parted friends.
Joyce, I think it's amazing. And you talk about service being a part of your life mission. And if you're in service to the individual, you're in service to your association. And you're also in service to the people that work under you, and that you're charged with helping lead and grow and all of those things. So I love that you're willing to recognize sometimes what's best for this person I don't have here. And so we encourage them out to find that. I don't know that a ton of people would take that perspective.
Well, it's served us well. Then that person goes on and they say positive things. They have a good relationship. They have still a good rapport with us. We've even had some of them make recommendations for who we should hire. So for us, it's a very good atmosphere. I'm very proud of people I work with.
I think that creates a freedom for people to be who they are, because they know that you want them in the best spot for them, which is the best spot for you. And if it doesn't exist, that you're going to support them in finding that, wherever that is. Gosh, I love that perspective. Good morning from Germany. Early morning, Torben. Hi, Torben. Welcome. Good morning in Germany. That is rad. Who's this? Here we go. Z the cook. Love that, Torben. It's all about emotional management. Torben, that's another great comment. I think at the end of the day, I think about this all the time. Anything that we're after, Joyce, you can tell me if you agree with this or not. Mm-hmm. Anything I think that I hope to pursue in life, or hope to be, or hope to experience, or a goal I set, I think it's always, certainly if not always about a feeling I'm hoping to create, whether it's pride, whether it's satisfaction in service, whether it's creating meaning. I think it all leads down to people want to feel a certain thing in their role at work, and on your Sunday family calls. You guys, I want to talk more about that too, but obviously that's a priority to you. I don't know. I've never done a consistent Sunday family call with people that weren't in my home. And I love that you do that. So I think all of us are out to feel something. I don't know. Does that relate?
It relates to me. I think something that I've learned, my staff has taught me, and I think it's important, is that people want to be associated with something larger than themselves. And you have to create that and make that atmosphere and that culture. And I think we've done that at ANFP. And I think that we've also, I don't want to speak for my board, but I think my board chair, Omar Humes, would probably agree that we've also tried to carry that over into our membership. Make our members feel they're bigger, they belong to something much larger than what they do day to day.
Sure.
It's a great, we love this industry. It's a good profession. So, and having people believe that, and I think that's what people gravitate towards, not just what they do every day and, put out 5 meals or 10 meals or 25 or 500 meals. It's more, it's a service. You're taking care of individuals, So we have a lot of servant leaders.
Yeah. I think that part that you hit on is one of the most underappreciated or recognized, we all want to be a part of something big. I think about this all the time. It's a component of sort of the food service power plant framework in terms of what do you want to make. It's got to be big because someone going to wash someone going to wash dishes at a diner down the street might be having a different experience than someone who's doing that at the French Laundry. It's, oh my gosh, I'm a part of the French Laundry. Like, Chef Thomas is here, and all these people that are counting on me big. And I'm not saying that can't happen at a diner down the street by any stretch of the imagination, but at those places with a big story where people go to experience something that they can only experience one place, I think it's so important. I love that you recognize that and try to create that for your teams. Goodness gracious. Maureen Slocum. Hi, Maureen. Love these two fun and curious people. Love the energy. Hi, Maureen. And Dave, hope you both are doing awesome. Look at this. Experience in failures. What is this? I'm trying to find who just said it. Experience in failures, cut your diamonds, ensuring a great shine. Nice analogy. I love it. Very true. We seek to validate ourselves in that role. Love it. We need a meta goal in life, and all our actions will be aligned naturally. Meta goal or that life mission, etc. I love it. Great point. Right on target with Joyce.
Yeah.
Kind of a soul goal as to why we are here. We all want to feel like what we do is helping a bigger cause. We talked about this. Actually, Steph and I were both at FIDA last week. And Guy Fieri was on stage, and I mentioned this about a lot of our conversations. Someone asked him, how does he define success? And it was about making a difference and wanting to make a positive impact. If my career has made a positive influence in the lives of others to help them rise up, to help their families, whatever that is, then I'll know that this journey was worth it.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Goodness gracious. Maureen says, Joyce, you are spot on. You clearly embrace an attitude that says everyone get involved, whatever that may look like. I agree. Maureen, good summary right there. Gosh. Okay. I want to keep going. There's so many good nuggets here. You served our country. Thank you for your service. 21 years. You've owned and started and sold businesses. You've been in, I don't think I can say the word again. I would say academia, but you said it differently than I did.
An academician, but academia is fine.
Academician. I know, I need to find a way to say that. We should have a contest sometime where we say it 5 times fast and who can get through it. You were in academia. You've been in this role as president CEO for 9 years now. There's so many, and I imagine everything you do following that mission, and it's something you're passionate about. It's something you feel. How do you, for people looking to develop passions, who might not even know what they're passionate about, any guidance or anything that you do in your life to foster, to cultivate those things that you're passionate about?
Well, for me, it was really putting my toe in the water of a lot of different aspects. I was lucky I found an industry that I fell in love with, but I didn't know what part of that industry would fit my mission and allow me to serve the way that I wanted. And so that if that's any kind of a guidance for anyone, I think that's, you never know. It's really landing on an industry that you feel, for me, it's as large as our industry is, it's really not. We're a very small, tight community, and that's important.
What is it about, in all the different realms you've been in, what is it about food service that is so special?
Well, for me, it was interesting because I actually started out on the nutrition side. So my first business was really more in the sports nutrition, and I did like all of University of Florida's athletics, and I really thought I was heading down that path. And then I got a taste of the back of the house of food service and really, really fell in love with that. Maybe because it's more logistical, it's much more defined, and I don't know why, and Stephanie laughs at me all the time, but I love the financial part of everything, including businesses. And, with food service, you control a budget. And I really like that aspect of it. And so I'm not sure if that answers the question, but that's kind of how I migrated. Really trying to experience, once I landed on a field that I felt was a good fit, not only for my life mission, but my personality and my career paths, then I started looking at all aspects of that and then found the fit with the nonprofit.
I think I love this. And Torben says, right, I love the toe in the water, jump and swim in a lot of lakes. I think it's a great way to say it, Joyce. And Torben, thank you. Try things on and see how they feel. Like, you mentioned emotion earlier. I think at the end of the day, whether we want to create meaning, we want to feel joy, we want to feel energy in what we do and come alive. You love budgeting is a part of what you love, and leading in service is part of what you love, and the industry of food service and connecting and all of these things. I think it matters so much just to try things on and realize, hey, this may or may not be a fit for who I am. This may or may not be something I love and make me come alive. And then guess what? There's so many things I can go try.
And there's so many aspects. I mean, this is an industry that gives you a plethora of alternatives. So and I think I used to tell my students that as well. Just if the first shoe didn't fit, don't give up the whole closet, because there's so many other things. I only say that because my wife has a lot of shoes. I'm just kidding. But I really think that advice, I think, has served me well, for sure.
Heck yeah. You can, in food service, I think about this all the time. You can be a cook in the back. You can create menus. You can design equipment. You can weld and learn to fix that equipment. You can serve those who serve like you are, take care of people. You can help people learn to run business. I mean, there's just a million things that you can do in our large yet tiny world of food service.
Exactly.
Gosh, what's this? What I love most is that in Joyce's voice, there is this deep emotional connection. Whatever rocks your boat makes you float. Embrace a fail first attempt in learning. Yeah, I don't get the sense that if something doesn't work for Joyce, I think, Joyce, you're going to find something new that does. And certainly as a leader of a team, find someone who loves to do that role, certainly if it's not one you love. Christine. Hi, Christine. Yo, endless opportunities for sure. Find what works. Of course, Christine is on the consulting side. So Christine, do you know Christine, Joyce?
Yes, I do.
Oh, awesome. Christine does a lot of design and consulting specifically in the healthcare market. I love it. Who is this? Who knew dietitians could design kitchens? Right. I love that. You go and you study dietitian and nutrition and all of these things. And now she's helping designing for these hospitals being built all around the world to say, here's how to do it in today's day. Wonderful. Love it.
Well, who knows better than the people that have to use it, right?
Yeah, right.
How to design it.
100%.
Nothing makes me cringe more than to have somebody do a design that doesn't really understand the industry and doesn't get the right consult to do it.
You've got to know how to do it. Who's this? This is Maureen Slocum. Stephanie definitely has some amazing shoes, but how lucky you both are to find each other. No kidding.
Thank you.
Never ever give up. Heck yes. There is, I don't know. It's hard to make huge statements about no one or everyone, but the encouragement to anyone who doesn't feel like they haven't found that thing that perhaps makes them come alive, or that they love, or that they would say is a passion, is that, I don't know, in my own life, I spent years not knowing what that was or feeling absent of that. And you keep trying and you keep trying new things. And I think, Torben's right, that whole idea of failure, trying 10 things and finding one that works and that makes you come alive. That's not failure. That's just life. Yeah. That's driving down a road or running down a road and you can always find it.
It's a
Always.
cliche, but it's kind of looking at all your challenges as opportunities, because you can look at something that, wow, I really didn't like that aspect of it, or you can look at what door did that open,
Yeah.
and where can I head with that knowledge that I learned. I might not have liked it, what I was doing, but you're always learning. So I really like what Torben had to say. Makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense. I like that acronym.
It is a great one. Here's another thing I think, Joyce, that just I hear in your voice. I heard a podcast, I don't know, a month ago. I was on a run. I think it'll come to me whose podcast it was, but it was a leadership podcast. And this person was saying sometimes leaders confuse authority with expertise. And sometimes leaders have this problem of thinking they need to be experts in all of it, and realizing, you know what, here's the stuff I'm gifted at. Here's the stuff or the stuff I love. And there's other things that need to make our business run that aren't my expertise. And while I, as a leader, ultimately get to help lead the way and make decisions and all that, I trust you and your expertise, because that's not the world that I'm most proficient in, but I trust that you are. And I sense that in you, this freedom to recognize I don't need to be an expert in all of the things that make ANFP run.
Oh, definitely not. That's not my philosophy as a CEO at all.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, it's to get the right people on the bus, put them in the right seats, but more importantly, empower them to do what they do best.
Yeah.
And challenge them with that and give them a voice. So I think it's very important.
I have a feeling there's a lot of freedom working with you and for you. Treat every encounter as a learning experience. Yeah, of course. I think it was Edison who said, I didn't fail. I just found 10,000 ways that didn't work to make the light bulb. And every time it didn't work again, then he knew, well, we're not going to do that way again. We'll try something new, and you keep trying. So great encouragement. In the last 5 years for you, is there a belief, behavior, or a habit that has most affected your life positively?
Well, I think maybe the behavior, the belief is, for me, the belief was be present. Be present in every moment. And the behavior that surrounded that, I have to think about that for a minute, but I think it's becoming a better listener. As a CEO, a lot of times if you talk too much, or you don't let everyone else in the room have a voice, then they assume that that's what's going to happen, as opposed to hearing everyone's perspective from all their lenses. Yeah. So for me, I think it was becoming a better listener and using that behavior to be present and to be respectful. So
as I think about it, I mean, that makes a lot of sense, because to really listen well, I mean, what do they say? Like, a lot of times people hear, but they're not listening. I hear what's being said, but I'm not listening to it. Noise is different than understanding. And to truly listen to someone's perspective or their moment or what they're experiencing, you do have to be fully present in that moment. You can't be checked out and thinking about what am I doing for dinner, or what happened at breakfast that was hard, or whatever that is. It's being right here, you and I, and I'm going to hear whatever it is you have to say.
Yeah, when you have a lot of thought leaders, the first thing that comes to mind, and I think my board's very good at this as well, is you listen. Don't be thinking about your response or what you're going to say. Listen to what that individual is saying, and then let's sit back and kind of glean that information and then utilize it. And I think that because we've developed that respect between my staff and my board, we are in strategic planning right now for our next strategic plan, and it's just been amazing, the interaction between the two. And I think it's because of that respect and that ability to listen and give people space and give everyone in the room a voice. It's important.
Joyce, I think, we follow it. Things come from upstream, right? And I think you being willing to acknowledge that and be intentional about recognizing that in your life has to have, everyone's got to watch that and think, you know what, this is what we're going to be. Joyce, I'm trying to figure out who this is. Let's see. I'm trying to find it. Joyce. Well, we'll find it. You should train a lot of CEOs. I love it. And I love your attitude and philosophy. Oh, gosh, I agree. Look at this one. She is the most consistent, level, strategic, and passion-filled person I know. I blame the 5 a.m. workouts. I wonder if that's
Who in the
Steph. That
world
might
is
be
that
Steph.
that knows I work out at 5 a.m.? Is that my wife?
Yeah, I bet it is. But for some reason my Facebook isn't updating, but I bet it is. I love it.
Yeah, I do
High
work out
10 to
every
that.
morning.
Oh, high 10. Love it. Nice. Bobby Moshe, great advice. Hey, Bobby. Um, Hard to do for sure, Christine says. Christine, yeah, it's as someone whose mind wanders, it can be hard to be present
Mhm.
and fully listen. And it definitely is a practice. It's like so many
It
things I think we
it
think
is a
people are,
practice.
yeah, right. It's so many things that I think I always believe people just were good at. It's flexing up. It's just working out a muscle, whether it's gratitude, whether it's presence, whether it's listening. Pretty much, I think anything can be learned.
Yeah, and I think graduate school, teaching graduate level students taught me that too, because a lot of times you present them with a question where you already know the answer, and you have to listen and let them struggle through that, or
Yeah.
and not interject until they get their full thought out, or they'll never learn how to manifest that and how to develop their thought processes. And the same holds true for thought leaders, and it carries over very well. And the more you give them an individual space to talk through what they're thinking, and you also have to know, not everyone thinks the same, not everyone expresses himself the same, and that's a learning process too. But
I think you're a great. It sounds like when I think about coaching, like the answers at times, but you need, great coaches help people come to their own solutions and ideas. It's not always saying, "Oh no, here's what the right answer is," or "Here's what we're going to do."
yeah,
There are so many comments. Everybody, I apologize if I can't get to all of them because this is an engaging conversation. This is our friend Deirdre Flynn, who is I think her title is Executive Director of NAFM.
hmm,
And this is such a great perspective for nonprofit leaders like Dee, those who lead a team and manage a board, but never forget why they serve. Such great counsel.
thank you, Dee.
Gosh, really well said.
But it's interesting that you said about coaching. I did coach. I coached out when I was in high school. I coached girls basketball
Okay.
in our leagues that we had in our community. That was a load of fun. And then I played basketball. I played Division I basketball. So yeah.
Unbelievable. It's one of the things that I think coaching gets, I don't know. I think at times there can be this perception of, oh, I don't need a coach. I can figure it out if I have a coach, maybe it says something less about me or I can't, but you realize the best Olympic athletes on the planet, they all have coaches. They all have people looking at their form and technique and giving a perspective from the bottom of the ski hill as opposed to the top, for a Lindsey Vonn or Michaela Schifrin or whoever that is. And
Well,
it's such,
yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no.
Yeah, I had brunch with some friends this past Sunday. We were talking about tennis, and when you look at the professional athletes and you look at their boxes, and there's a coach for almost every single thing. There's a coach for their psychology. There's a coach for their physical being. There's a coach for how they play tennis. There's a coach for how their mental capacity handles the day-to-day aspects of playing at that level. So yeah, you shouldn't be afraid of coaching.
I love that you're a coach. I think those skills you learned coaching basketball, and I think they have followed you in your journey, Joyce. A great coach is like a great chef. I can't see who this one is up for yet, but oh, by the way, Maureen Slocum says, I'm up for the training. She's in. I love it, Maureen. A great coach is like a great chef. Present some recipes by asking the right questions and perspective switching. Sure, I think coaching, a lot of it is about questions, probably more questions than answers, for a lot of coaches, so people can kind of come to some of their own. We always talk on our show about a challenge in life. Is there, we all overcome things. It's, our paths don't just go like this. they're this and they're this, and we learn in the challenge and the adversity or the struggle or whatever it is. Was
Mhm.
there a challenge, Joyce, for you professionally, whatever it was that you overcame that really taught you, you know what, I can do hard things?
Hmm. Yeah, I don't usually think of things as challenges. I think them more of opportunities and try to pivot in that way. So I have to think about that for a second. It might have been I've only been mobilized during my military career. I was only mobilized once,
Okay.
but it was also during a time when I just started a new business.
Hmm. Wow.
And I was mobilized for a little over 12 months and basically lost my business because you can't run a business when you're in a uniform. And so it taught me a number of lessons. One, for the first time, it put my mission, two things into conflict
Hmm.
because I was serving my profession, but I was serving my country at the same time. So,
Yeah.
so that was a great lesson. And then the other aspect of it was, hey, it got better. I came out, I found a better partner for my business, partnered in a way that I probably would have never done. And he was a competitor for my business.
Hmm.
So together we became better. So to me, once again, it was just something that, I don't know, it just turned out really well. And it just presented a lot more opportunities than it did a challenge.
Joyce,
So,
I love it. It's so interesting. Um, in the power play network, we talk a lot about that all the time. Challenges. It depends on how you look at it. Have you? Was there a time in life that you decided, you know what, it's not a challenge, it's an opportunity, it's a flip of perspective, it's just looking at it from the other side of a moment? Was that something that you sort of have been doing since birth, or was there a moment in time that someone said, no, Joyce, here's a different way to look at it that might create more life around this moment in time?
yeah, I'm sure somebody had an impact, but I think even when I was born, I've always been kind of joyful, and I've always had the glass half full, not half empty. So it's always been my perspective as long as I can remember. So I've always
Amazing.
been yeah, happy kid.
Gosh, let me just say, this is such a gift to get to hang out with you tonight. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I know we have to do
Um,
it once again. That was so much fun.
Yeah, I know, I know, I know. This is so true. Focus on solutions and finding the ways to get there. Heck yes. The most important quality that Joyce possesses is her patience. This is on Facebook. I wonder if I can find who it is. I don't know that I can, but um, it's,
I do have
oh,
patience.
Ellen. Um,
My
Hi,
mother-in-law.
Ellen, your mother-in-law is here.
Thank you
Patience.
for that.
I think it's wonderfully said, and there's so many great qualities I think that people are pointing out tonight and recognizing and seeing in you. Can you maybe we didn't talk about patience in the questions, but maybe we could talk about patience real quick. When I think about that word, as Ellen puts it up there, it almost seems like there's no haste to create a solution, out of recognizing that maybe it's just time to think on it. Maybe patience is really a byproduct of you learning how to be present and listening, because I think there's inherently patience found in just sitting and listening.
Mhm.
I don't know. Talk about your perspective on patience in your life as it relates to the ways you engage with the people in your world.
Well, I think when you surround yourself with good people and good thought leaders, good servant leaders, you you want to be patient because you want to hear their perspective. And so it does come with the listening and the other aspects of it. But the patient comes from, boy, these people are smart. I need to hear this. I need to understand, and grow and develop. And, we're better together. And so for me, sitting back and listening it's almost a gift.
Hmm. Um, it seems like this is a subjective observation based on what I've seen and what you said, that there's a belief, as I think about leaders who are not patient and who don't necessarily want to listen and who just want to say, here's what we're doing, here's how it happens, here's the right answer, versus what we get to see in you tonight. It's almost like there's a different belief about people. I think you have a belief about people that inherently is, there's wisdom here. there's knowledge in this person. This person has something to offer.
Right.
And I'm going to benefit. Like there's wisdom from there, and I'd like to learn it, and I'd like to see that, as opposed to I've got this amazing career and I'm the bomb, and everyone else just needs to learn from me. I think that belief about what is available in all people seems to come out of you.
I agree with that statement wholeheartedly.
What a great gift for anyone who works in ANFP, or for any leader like you who believes every person here has wisdom to offer, and I want to learn it, and I'm better for having done so. I think that is so huge. This is true. Focus on solutions, finding ways to get there, absolutely reframing where those love glasses. There we go. Reframing situation. Love the outlook of challenge as a new opportunity. Yep. I think it's a great mix of patience and impatience. I think, when you say impatience, I think about our friend Keith Kelly that came on. Actually, no, that's another one. Oh, it's right here. I put a sticky on my monitor. Keith Kelly shared one time. Keith Kelly is the president of Tundra FNP in Boulder. They're a dealer. He said, be impatient to create the change you want to see in your life and in the industry. And I love that. So yeah, I think there probably is a mixture of patience and impatience. Do you experience that, Joyce?
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Really well said. Being that patience is energy, drive, and joy. Behind that patience is energy, drive, and joy. You can see it. You can see all of those, the energy, the drive, and the joy. Patience is truly a virtue in leadership. This is much harder than most people know. Yeah, I would agree with that too. In moments of challenge or stress or whatever it is, if people are feeling, patience can feel hard at times. Maybe we just want to give the answer.
Sure. And there are times that's necessary. I mean, I spent my military career. There's times when you tell your troops exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But the majority of the time, that I think it's worth the time and the patience and the listening.
Gosh, really well said. To know when those moments are. Every person carries a pearl of wisdom, and listening and asking the right are the best openers. Really well said. That's great. Mm-hmm. Okay, I know we're getting close to the end. So 3 things on Joyce's bucket list. What are 3 things that you want to do?
Oh, goodness. Well, I love traveling, especially with my wife, Stephanie. And we have a couple places on our bucket list that we would like to go to in kind of short term. Yeah. So that's one. And the other 2 are just kind of a me thing. I'm still trying to become bilingual and more fluent. And I'm still trying to teach myself guitar. So
awesome.
So those have been on my bucket list for almost ever since I've been around. I just keep trying, and I'll pick up a chord here, a chord there, and then there'll go days, weeks that I don't do anything. So I'm still holding on to that hope, but it's in my bucket list for sure.
I love it. You can do it. And what's the language? What do you want to become more fluent in?
I would prefer Spanish. I took German all through school.
Okay.
But I would really like to be fluent in Spanish, and many people in my family, in my extended family, are close to it. Stephanie's pretty good, and she's got siblings that are, and I don't know. I just love the language. I think it's I love the culture actually of Spain. So, and of Mexico.
I love it. I love it. Oh, if it's Egypt, please let me know, Joyce. Who is this? I don't know where that's coming from. LinkedIn.
The place dreadful.
I don't know who's watching from Egypt, but that's awesome if someone is. Yeah, Torben. Wow. Torben knows someone in Egypt. There we go. Awesome, Torben.
Thank you.
Maybe that's going on the list. I love
it. Maybe.
Okay, Joyce, a couple of things before we end the night. A couple of your colleagues, you talk about your mission, your life mission is being service. And listening to you, it's been such a gift. And a couple friends, in case you're wondering if you're fulfilling your mission, the answer is yes. Yes, you are. I'm going to read a couple of what we call encouraging words from some of your colleagues who wrote about you. If you didn't know this was coming, sorry about that, but it's my favorite part. So drink some water if you need to. Catherine Church she works in your organization, yeah? ANFP?
He's my senior vice president.
Catherine's your senior vice president.
And also is the executive director of our credentialing program.
Amazing.
She's been with ANFP 36 years.
Wow.
Her whole career, basically.
Talk about keeping people, huh?
Yeah.
Joyce has been my colleague for over 30 years. And for the past 9, I've had the privilege and the pleasure of working with her at ANFP. She's brought her vast wealth of industry knowledge and business and data analytics acumen to our organization. Having her at the helm as we continue to navigate the rapidly changing environment of both food service and healthcare is an incredible asset, as well as the proverbial right person at the right time for us. The unique combination of those skills, along with her innate ability to enhance and strengthen our culture, makes her a respected and cherished leader within our ANFP family, as we all have come to know it under her tenure. Joyce is truly a visionary in the food service industry, but her talents extend beyond the boardroom or the spreadsheets. If you don't know her personally, you're missing out. In addition to compassion for all, she has a great sense of humor. And if you ever get her on the dance floor, look out. Gilbert's got rhythm and some fancy footwork. Beautiful. Oh.
I do love to dance.
I love it. That's going on my bucket list, just so you know. Dancing with Joyce and Stephanie somewhere. Let's do it.
That was very kind words.
And I think Enid Borden.
Oh.
National Foundation to End Senior Hunger. Yes?
Yes. And prior to that, so that used to be the foundation that was affiliated with Meals on Wheels, and Eden was their executive director. She broke the foundation off and continued to run that. And Meals on Wheels is run by someone else now. And it's her and I've partnered, and I'm on her advisory committee. She's just a wonderful person.
Joyce is a member of my advisory board. There you go.
There it is.
So what you might be saying, let me tell you, I'm going to get emotional. Let me tell you why that's so important to me. When we launched the National Foundation to End Senior Hunger 10 years ago, I knew that I needed not just a board of directors, but another board that would actually advise me on running an organization about nutrition and health and serving those most in need. My first pick needed to be someone who I trusted and who would be there when I needed a helping hand, advice, and just someone with whom I could vent. My first choice was Joyce. She's been on my board for 10 years now. She never lets me down. She's taught me about leadership, compassion, and commitment to service. She holds many titles, and they are all earned. But to me, her most important title is friend. Hey, who else would make a 10-year commitment with no end in sight? Enid, thanks for sharing. Catherine, thanks for sharing. Joyce, tonight was as engaged a conversation as we really get. I would say, your life mission, I'm glad you decided upon that whenever you did and made that a staple of who you are. Because from the outside looking in, having just recently met you and getting to share some time, you're living it, my friend. And I think there are so many in our industry who are the beneficiaries in their own lives and careers of receiving what you offer.
Great fun.
Keep up the wonderful work.
You too.
Who's this? Thank you. Great conversation. Nuggets of wisdom. David Maxwell. Hey, David. Someone's wanking. I love it. Maybe they want to dance too. I'm going to assume that they want to dance with us too. Boom. Married to an Egyptian. That's the connection from Torben. Love it.
Got it.
Food Service Power Plant Network or friends, if you're watching in our Facebook community, if you're watching on the K-12 Power Plant Network, if you're joining us on LinkedIn, I don't know, a couple of takeaways for me. I hadn't really made the connection between listening and being present, and patience. The three of those, like a trifecta of leadership glory right there. For anyone who gets to be in the presence of a leader, we all have leaders in our lives. Maybe we are them ourselves. There's a safety and a freedom for people who are willing to listen. And so maybe if there's something that you're cultivating in your life, perhaps it's that leadership, or the listening, being present, and patience that's tied to all of that. I think one other thing, I mean, I have so many notes here. But another thing foundationally is this belief that everyone has a gift to offer, that I am not the smartest person in the room. People don't need to hear my voice, that everyone comes in with a perspective and wisdom and heart and gifts. And I benefit myself when I hear all of them. And so if you're a leader, maybe your perspective has been, you know what, people are here just worker bees, and I just need them to get the job done while I bark commands left and right. Maybe be open to a different perspective on all the people that work on your team. And I think foundationally it changes us as people. When we look out, someday when I'm walking to a dance club with Joyce and Steph, either in Denver or in Chicago, and I'm seeing people on the street we're passing, or in a restaurant that I'm eating at, maybe I become a little bit different person when I assume that everyone I'm watching or seeing has something wonderful to give. As opposed to what can easily sometimes be judgment or so many things we think. I think it changes who we are, and makes people have a different experience in our presence when we believe that they're amazing. That was one of the great takeaways for me. Thanks, Joyce and Jason. What a great way to start the week. I love it. I knew a good musician who can play her any song she wants. I love that. This is Facebook. I can't see who it is, but maybe that's Steph. I don't know. Thanks a million. And it's all in a person's voice. You're both buzzing with positive energy. Love it. Well, thank you for joining us. Foodservice Power Plant community. Have a wonderful Monday night. Someone said it. What a great way to start the week. This has been awesome. I hope it's a great week wherever you are at. Remember, if you find yourself in a tough spot right now, maybe you haven't yet found something you feel passionate about that makes you come alive, that you love doing. Keep, like Joyce said, keep dipping your toe into different waters. Try different things on. See what fits. See if there's something that makes you feel that energy and that sense of aliveness. If you ever just need to connect, you can always reach out to me, reach out to Joy. We're happy to help or listen or offer you guidance or whatever that might look like in your world. But keep moving, keep pursuing. Thanks for joining us. Joyce, thanks again for giving us an hour tonight.
Absolutely.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.